Hey guys, how's it going? I got an awesome video to show you guys today. Today I'm going to show you guys the best one card Cool Toon anti-Nibiru combo for Blazing Dominion TCG. Now that Blazing Dominion is going to come out in the TCG really soon, I'm going to post a bunch of Cool Toon combos. I'm also going to post a lot of other TCG combos for the other decks I play that are getting support in Blazing Dominion like Synchrons. I'm also going to make a lot of other combos for archetypes I play like Red Dragon, Archfiend, Rocket, Archmage, and Elf Note. But for sure, I'm definitely going to make a lot of videos on Cool Toon and Synchron. I'm definitely going to prioritize those two archetypes. The main reason why is because those are my favorite archetypes getting support in Blazing Dominion. If you guys looked on my channel, I post a ton of Synchron combos because I love that deck a lot. That deck is really good for people like me because if you guys aren't aware, whenever new cards come out in the OCG, I always post a ton of combos with them really quickly. Just comboing with new cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! Whenever they get revealed is really fun for me. Synchrons is an amazing deck for me because they have so many combos. You can basically beat any hand trap in the game with Synchrons with only one card now. I posted a ton of Synchron one card combos that beat Drone, Lockbird, Nibiru, and Fuwalis, which is pretty awesome. I know a lot of people say that Synchrons can't beat Fuwalis, but I did make a combo that only uses one card that does. They have a one card anti-Droll combo, they have a one card anti-Nibiru combo, a lot of them. Synchrons is just a really fun deck for me. Cool Toon also has a ton of really cool combos. The deck is really strong and can beat any hand trap in the game. They also make great use of cards like Voldralis Harmonia, which is one of the strongest hand traps in the OCG right now. That card is honestly insane value, and I'm very surprised Konami made a card that good. It's definitely the best time to be a Synchro player right now because Synchro decks are going to be really strong. That's great for me because if you guys don't know, my favorite summoning mechanic is Synchro. It's really fun for me to play a Synchro deck, and I love almost every Synchro deck in the game. As a result, because Cool Toon's a Synchro deck, I automatically like them. If you guys have been playing Master Duel, you know Cool Toon recently came out and that deck is taking over Master Duel. That deck is honestly so strong now with their new support in Blazing Dominion. That's why I want to make a bunch of combos for Cool Toon in the TCG so you guys are aware what the optimal lines are. I've been watching a couple Cool Toon Master Duel video combos and they're okay, but at the same time people are doing some pretty suboptimal lines. Especially against Nibiru, I see a lot of people make some pretty bad lines against Nibiru. This is why I want to show you guys the best TCG one card Cool Toon anti-Nibiru combo. Now I made this combo line a really long time ago back when these cards first got revealed in Blazing Dominion. This is still the one card optimal combo line. It makes me pretty happy that this combo withstood the test of time. There are some other combos that require two cards, but in terms of card economy, this is the best one. You only need one card in your hand, which is going to be Synchro Overtake, and I'll show you how to do that right now. To start this combo off, we're going to activate Synchro Overtake from our hand. What we get to do is reveal one Synchro monster from our extra deck. Now you get to summon one monster from your deck or grave mentioned on the card as material. Now you can also add the card from your deck to your hand, but we want to summon the card here. Now the monster that we're going to reveal here is going to be Cool Toon RS. RS is the best one because this card specifically mentions Rico. Now we're going to summon the Rico from our deck. Now the turn you activate Synchro Overtake, you can't summon anything from the extra deck the whole turn except for Synchro monsters. That's totally fine though for an effect this strong, and we're only going to summon Synchro monsters anyways. Now we're going to activate the effect of Rico on summon. If this card is normal or special summon, you get to add a Cool Toon monster from your deck or grave to your hand that's not level 3. Now this effect is amazing, so now we get a Rota for a Cool Toon monster. Now you have a lot of really good cards you can add to your hand here, but the best one for sure is the new monster in Blazing Dominion, Cool Toon Rotary. The reason why Rotary is so good is because this card is level 1. Now the effects on Rotary are broken, but the most important thing for sure is the fact that this card is level 1. Now what makes the Cool Toon monster so good is that when you synchro summon using the card on the field as material, you get to use a tuner in your hand as the other material. That's incredibly great, especially against cards like Nibiru. Nibiru counts the amount of summons that you do before you can activate the card, so being able to use material in your hand is great. Now you don't have to summon the card to add another summon. So we're going to take the Rico on our field and the Rotary in our hand and use them as synchro material. Now we're going to synchro summon into Cool Toon Trackmaker. Now I know this may look a little weird how we able to use multiple tuner monsters to synchro summon. What makes the Cool Toon synchros really unique is that most of them require multiple tuners to summon them. That's honestly a really cool mechanic I like a lot. Now two effects are going to activate here. When Trackmaker is special summoned, you get to add a Cool Toon card from your deck to your hand. On top of that, when Rotary is sent to the grave as synchro material, you get to look at your opponent's hand and then you get to add a Cool Toon spell or trap from your deck to your hand. Getting hand knowledge from your opponent basically means you know every option your opponent has. This means that before you add a card from your deck to your hand, you get to check to see if your opponent has Nibiru. You also get to check their hand for any other hand trap, but in this combo line, we're going to beat Nibiru specifically. Now it's very important here that you structure the chain link to make Trackmaker chain link 1 and Rotary chain link 2. It has to be done this way in this combo. You always want Trackmaker to be chain link 1. The reason why is because Rotary needs to check your opponent's hand first to see what hand traps they have in their hand. If you make Trackmaker chain link 2, you're going to screw up the combo. The reason why is because Trackmaker needs Rotary to give it information to know what card it needs to add from your deck to your hand. If you make Trackmaker chain link 2 and then you make Rotary chain link 1, then you check your opponent's hand after you search. That means you could have added a bad card from your deck to your hand that you don't need. This is why Rotary always has to be chain link 2 in every combo line. You're going to do a lot of very suboptimal combo lines if you make Trackmaker chain link 2. So Trackmaker is going to be chain link 1 and Rotary is going to be chain link 2. Now you get to check your opponent's hand, and this is what you're going to do if you see Nibiru. Off the effect of Rotary, what you're going to do is add Cool Toon Synchro from your deck to your hand. Now off the effect of Trackmaker, what you're going to do is add Cool Toon Kewl. It's very important that you add these two cards specifically. Now because we haven't normal summoned yet, we're going to normal summon Kewl from our hand. Now the effect of Kewl will activate on normal summon. You get to summon a tuner monster from your hand, deck, or grave. Now if you activate the effect of Kewl here, you're locked into tuners for the rest of this turn, but that's honestly fine. We're going to have no problem being locked into tuner in Cool Toon. Now we're going to activate the effect of Mix on summon. If this card is normal material, or special summon, you get to add a Cool Toon monster from your deck or grave to your hand except a level 2 monster. So now we're gonna use the effect of Mix here to get a search for another copy of Rico. Now you can also add back the Rico from your grave. I just prefer to add a card from my deck to my hand, but you can do whatever you want. Now the next monster that we summon here has to be Nibiru because we already summoned 4 times. Summon 1 was Rico, summon 2 is Trackmaker, summon 3 is Kewl, and summon 4 was Mix. If we summon 1 more time, that's 5, and then we can get hit by Nibiru. This is completely fine though because I already have everything I need for anti-Nibiru combo. What I'm gonna do is take my Trackmaker and my Q to synchro summon into Zaylin the Shackled Dragon. Now the effect of Q will activate because this card was sent to the grave as synchro material. Now what you get to do here is check the top 2 cards on your opponent's deck. You get to banish one of them and then you place the other on the top or the bottom. Placing a card on top of the deck is really good here. The reason why is because of Q and Rotary together you get complete knowledge of every card your opponent has. You already saw your opponent's entire hand and now you get to check to make sure you know what card they're gonna draw. This is honestly really broken by the way. So now you get to check your opponent's deck and hopefully they have a really bad card here you can place on top of the deck. Now because we summoned 5 times in this combo line, your opponent can activate Nibiru here. They're gonna activate Nibiru and tribute every card on your field. Now this is really great because we can actually stop Nibiru here. If your opponent activates Nibiru here, you're gonna chain the Cool Toon Synchro in your hand. Now you get to add a Cool Toon monster from your deck to your hand. Now adding a Cool Toon monster from your deck to your hand is really good, but the best thing is now you can activate the effect of Zaylin. Now Zaylin is a really strong card here because the card is an Omni Negate, but it doesn't negate the same way other cards do. Zaylin as a card cannot be activated as Chain Link 2. The lowest Chain Link Zaylin can be activated as Chain Link 3. That means if your opponent activates Nibiru and you don't have another card you can activate, you can't negate Nibiru. You always have to have another card here. This is why having Cool Toon Synchro as a quick play card is so good. Now because in this chain we activated Cool Toon Synchro, you get to activate the effect of Zaylin to negate Nibiru. Zaylin is a really unique card here because when this card is activated as Chain Link 3, it can negate Chain Link 1 or Chain Link 2. That means we can negate Nibiru here, which is so good. So now we're going to use the effect of Zaylin here to negate Nibiru and destroy that card. Now we get to add a Cool Toon monster from our deck to our hand, which is really nice. Now I know a lot of people will raise an alternative here. What if your opponent doesn't activate Nibiru? What people assume here is you set Cool Toon Synchro and then your opponent activates Nibiru. If you see Nibiru in your opponent's hand and they don't activate it, guess what? It's okay. In this entire combo line, you don't have to activate the Cool Toon Synchro in your hand. You can just keep it in your hand the entire turn. This means no matter what, we are 100% nib proof. If your opponent activates Nibiru, you chain Cool Toon Synchro and negate that card with Zaylin. If your opponent doesn't activate Nibiru, you just keep Cool Toon Synchro in your hand the entire time. This is why this combo is 100% nib proof. Now we're still not done here, we can keep comboing. What you're gonna do is take Mix on your field and Rico in your hand to synchro summon. You're gonna summon Remix. Now you're gonna end your turn here with Cool Toon Synchro in your hand if your opponent did not activate Nibiru. Now a really cool thing if you want to is you can activate Cool Toon Synchro during the end phase to get a search if you want. I really don't think you have to because you're gonna have every card that you need, but if you want to you can do that. I would just prefer having the quick play in my hand. Now you're gonna end your turn here and having Remix and Zaylin together is amazing. The reason why is during your opponent's turn you get to activate the effect of Remix. You get to tribute this card on the field to target 2 tuner monsters in your grave and you summon one and add the other to your hand. This is really great because when your opponent activates any card or effect you can activate Remix here. That means you can activate the effect of Zaylin because you have a Chain Link 2 already. This will give you a window to activate Zaylin and now you can negate any card your opponent activated. This is an amazing setup for a 1-card anti-Nibiru combo. Now you get to negate your opponent's card and now Remix will summon a tuner from your grave and add one to your hand. So the one from our grave we're going to summon is Q and now we're going to add Rico to our hand. Now if your opponent has a spell card, instead you'd add Q and you summon Rico. The reason why is because when Rico is sent to the grave you get to target a spell and trap card your opponent controls and destroy it. So you get a free spell or trap pop here if you want, which is pretty nice. On top of that, what makes it even better is that after you summon a monster off the effect of Remix, you get to synchro summon 1 tuner monster. You're going to take the Zaylin on your field and the Q on your field to synchro summon into back-to-back. Now back-to-back is also insanely broken. Now when your opponent activates a monster effect, you get to take a tuner monster in your grave and add it to your hand or summon it to your field. After, you also get to immediately synchro summon 1 synchro monster. On top of that, this card is also a floodgate because the level of the monsters your opponent controls are increased by 2. That honestly can screw up a lot of decks because a lot of synchro and Exceeds decks cannot play. So now when our opponent activates a monster effect, you're going to activate the effect of back-to-back here. You're going to target the Rico in your grave and you're going to summon that card. Now the effect of Rico will activate on summon. Now you get to add a Cool Toon monster from your deck to your hand that's not level 3. We're going to get a search for Clip here. Now you get to activate the effect of Clip in your hand on the opponent's turn. What this card will do is summon this card from your hand on the opponent's turn and then you get to synchro summon 1 tuner monster. Now we get to synchro summon into a level 5 monster. Now here you have 2 choices. You can use the Rico on your field as material or you can use the Rico in your hand as material. It really doesn't matter here, but I much prefer using the Rico on my field as material. I like keeping the Rico in my hand here to use it as a follow-up on my next turn. So now we're going to synchro summon using Clip and the Rico on our field to synchro summon into Crackle. When this card is synchro summoned, you get to check your opponent's extra deck and then you get to banish a monster face up until the end of this turn. Anytime you get to extra deck rip your opponent, that's really good. Also, we get to activate the effect of Clip in our grave because this card was sent to the grave as synchro material. You get to banish a random card from your opponent's extra deck face up. That's a double extra deck rip already, which is really broken. Now when your opponent activates another monster effect, you get to activate the effect of back-to-back again. This will be the final time you can activate the effect of back-to-back, but it's more than enough. The monster that you're going to summon back from the grave is going to be Zaylin, and then you get to synchro summon using Zaylin and Crackle as material. Now we're going to synchro summon the Crimson Dragon. Now I know some of you might get confused here. How are you able to summon the Crimson Dragon using 2 tuner monsters as material? Zaylin is really cool here because if you use this card as synchro material on the field, you can treat this card as a non-tuner. That's incredibly great because because now we can summon any synchro we want. Now we're gonna activate the effect of the Crackle in our grave. If this synchro summon card is sent to the grave, you get to summon this card from the grave, then you get to take a look at your opponent's extra deck and banish 2 more cards from there. Now you get a quad extra deck rip, which is like game breaking levels of broken. What makes this combo even better is that we're still not done yet. We can still activate the effect of the Crimson Dragon here. What you're gonna do is activate the effect of Crimson Dragon and target your back-to-back. Now we get to summon a level 10 Dragon Synchro from our extra deck. It will also treat the monster as a proper synchro summon. You have a lot of options here, but in my opinion, these ones are gonna be the best 2. One card I really like is Crystal Clearwing Synchro Dragon. When your opponent would activate a monster effect, you get to activate this card's effect. Now this card will be unaffected by monster effects for the rest of this turn, and then it will gain attack equal to the attack of the monster that activated its effect. So basically, you can make this card like a semi-towers, which is really good in the mirror match. On top of that, Crystal Clearwing also has another effect. When your opponent would activate a spell or trap card effect, you get to negate that activation and destroy that card. So you get a semi-tower synchro monster plus a spell or trap negate. I'm pretty happy with that. Now if you don't want to summon Crystal Clearwing, another really good card to summon is Majestic Star Dragon. During either player's turn, when your opponent would activate a card or effect, you get to activate this card's effect. You get to tribute this card on the field to negate that activation and destroy that card, then you get to destroy all cards they control. So the synchro that you summon off the effect of the Crimson Dragon depends on what you want. Do you want a semi-tower monster and a spell or trap negate, or do you want an Omni negate and a board wipe? I'll let you guys decide which one is better for you. So as you guys can see, this is the best 1-card anti-Nibiru Cool Toon combo. For just 1 card, you beat Nibiru, you also got 4 extra deck rips, you got back-to-back, and a Dragon Synchro of your choice. You also have a guaranteed play on your next turn because you have Rico and Cool Toon Synchro in your hand. All for 1 card and you beat a hand trap. I'm really happy with this. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and you guys found this video educational. That's pretty much the whole point of why I make videos. Posting combos are really fun, but my favorite thing is how much you guys like these combos. I always appreciate all the nice comments you guys make saying how helpful these combos are for you. That's pretty much the reason why I keep posting videos. Now I'm definitely gonna post a lot of really good Cool Toon combos in the future. I got even more combos like anti-Fuwalla's combo, anti-Droll combo, and even an anti-Harmonia combo. I even have 1-card combos that search for draws Harmonia in your combo. When I say this deck is broken, this deck is really broken, guys. If you guys want a broken top tier deck in the format, look no further. I have been labbing this deck for a really long time, and trust me when I say this deck is broken, it's really broken. You will not make a bad choice if you want to play this deck competitively. Anyways, I'm gonna wrap things up here and I'll see you guys for another video. Like I said, I'm gonna post a ton of TCG combos for Synchron, Red Dragon, Archfiend, Elf Note, Archmage, and Rocket. No clue when I'm gonna make those videos specifically, but I'll make them sometime soon. That's it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Have a good one, and I'll see you guys for the next video. Take care, guys.